Hello and welcome. This training will review the Utah State Board of Education's Data Governance Plan and the approval procedures it contains for data requests. We will first do a quick review of what the USBE Data Governance Plan is and its purpose. The Data Governance Plan primarily establishes procedures and guidance for the USBE to follow surrounding the data it stores. It also gives USBE staff direction on how to handle requests for data. This is what we are going to focus on in this video. This policy categorizes student data into two types: internal student data and public-ready student data. Internal student data is any data that is personally identifiable, de-identified student-level data, or even aggregate data that does not have disclosure avoidance techniques applied. For example, internal student data could be student test scores that are only meant to be accessible by a teacher. Conversely, public-ready student data means the data has been aggregated and disclosure avoidance techniques have been used to protect the identities of all students. It is ready for the public to view safely. Now that we know the two different types of student data, let's review the different ways people may request data from the USBE. There are 6 main pathways a data request to the USBE can take when seeking approval. We will review each one in this video. The first pathway is for public-ready student data requests. This would be for aggregate data with disclosure avoidance techniques applied to them that were not already publicly available on the USBE website. These types of requests need approval from the Director of Data and Statistics and the Director of Privacy at the USBE. The second pathway is for vendors that contract with the USBE and request access to internal student data to perform their contracted services. These requests need to be reviewed by the Director of Privacy, the Director of Contracts and Purchasing, and Board Legal Counsel before going to the full State Board for final approval. A third way data may be requested is when internal student data is required by federal or state law. Even these requests need to be reviewed by the Director of Data and Statistics, the Director of Privacy, and the USBE Legal Counsel. Examples of this type of request would be for federal reporting or conducting studies required by law. If an LEA needs internal student data concerning the LEA's students, a USBE data steward can review and may approve that request directly. In the specific case where an LEA requests internal student data concerning students outside of the LEA for the purpose of auditing or challenging the validity of USBE data, an over-the-shoulder review may be approved. An over-the-shoulder review is when an LEA can review data on-site at the USBE office on USBE systems with the help of USBE staff. This prevents the data from being saved on any LEA devices. These types of reviews still need approval from the Director of Privacy and the Director of Data and Statistics. The final and most rigorous data approval pathway is for requests for internal student data which are discretionary. That means they are not required by state or federal law. After review from the Director of Privacy, the Director of Data and Statistics, and USBE Legal Counsel, the request will be reviewed by the USBE Law and Licensing Committee. If they approve it, the request will move on to the full State Board for final approval. Phew, we did it! Together, we have reviewed all 6 of the main pathways data requests may be approved at USBE. I know that was a lot. If you ever have any questions about these data requests processes or board policy, reach out to the data privacy team at USBE. If we each do our part to keep student data safe, we cannot lose. Goodbye.